Hi, dear students. Today we are going to see how to find the product of two vectors. Generally, in lower classes we have studied that we can find product of two numbers. If I ask you how many ways are there to find the product of two numbers, we would say, sir, there is only one way to find the product. But in case of scalar quantities, we have two ways to find the product of two vectors. The two ways are called as, one is called as scalar product, the other one is called as dot product, in the sense vector product. Now, why do we call it as a scalar product and vector product? It means that when I try to find the product of two vectors, the result that I am going to get, that physical quantity is going to be a scalar quantity. Thus, the product we call it as a scalar product. And it is actually written like this. Scalar product is always written like this, A dot B. The result is going to be a scalar quantity. So, simply I won't put any arrow because it is a scalar quantity. Since we write like this, then this scalar product is also called as dot product. This is also called as dot product. Similarly, when I say vector product, it means that when I find product of two vectors, I am going to get the result. The result quantity is going to be vector in nature. As such, I call that product as vector product. It means that, let us put this way, A cross B. Now I am going to get the answer. The answer that I am going to get will also be a vector quantity. So thus I call this product as a vector product. Then this product, since it is written as A cross B, it is also called as cross product. It is also called as cross product. So thus, in vectors we see that we can find two ways of products of two vectors. One we are going to call, predominantly it is called as dot product, and we will call it as cross product. The moment we say dot product, I will come to know that the result I am going to get is a scalar quantity. And when I say cross product, the resulting quantity will be a vector product. So let us see first the scalar product. Let us see its properties. Then let us solve one or two problems to understand the concept of the scalar product or say dot product. Then we will switch over to the vector product or say cross product. Let's see how to find the dot product. Now when I say dot product, I need to find dot product of two vectors. Say this is one vector A and say this is another vector B. Already we have studied, when we have two vectors, we can say that if their tails are coinciding at one point, then this is the angle between them. So theta is the angle between vector A and B. Also we have studied in the last class that if I have a vector, I can resolve this vector into two components, and I said that predominantly we are interested in finding the components that are perpendicular to one another. So this will be a rectangular resolution. Also I said that this vector can be drawn here, or otherwise I can draw this vector here. Right? Similarly, I am going to consider my vector B here. I am going to resolve B into two components. Okay. So if I resolve this B into two components, one component will be along this and the other component is going to be here. I am going to draw that component here. So the component that makes an angle theta with this vector, this is going to be cosine component we have already studied. So therefore, let me say this component is lying parallel to vector A. I mean the component of B that is parallel to the vector A, that is B parallel, which is going to be B cos theta. This component is perpendicular to this one, so I am going to call this as perpendicular component, and we said that in the last class this is B sin theta. Now when I say dot product, what we actually mean? We are trying to find the dot product of A and B. So just a while I said I am going to write dot product as this. Now when I write this, what actually I mean is I am trying to find the product. Also I know that I am going to get the scalar quantity. So when I say I am going to get the scalar quantity, it means that now I am going to have the magnitude of vector A. Magnitude is nothing but this length of this vector. So as such I say magnitude of one vector into the magnitude of the component of the second vector that is lying along first vector. First vector is A for me. Now I am trying to find the component of the second vector that is lying along the first vector A. So that is this, and magnitude of that component. So this is going to be B cos theta. So thus when we write A dot B, when we try to find dot product, this is nothing but the magnitude of one vector into magnitude of the other vector into cosine of angle between the two vectors A and B. If you ask what is theta, theta is the angle between A and B. So this is how we try to find the dot product of two vectors. Now let us see some conditions. Okay. So when I look at the conditions, the first condition I say that if I have two vectors, say like this is for me vector A and this is the second vector B. So these two vectors are parallel vectors. In that case, theta between them is equal to 0. If theta is equal to 0, then when I try to find the dot product of the two, this is simply going to be A B cos 0, which is going to be A B. This value of the dot product is going to be the maximum value. This is going to be the maximum value. Second case, I say that I have a vector A and the angle is theta, the vector is B. The condition I say my theta is greater than angle 0, it is greater than 0, but at the same time I say it is less than 90 degree, not equal to 90 degree. So cos theta greater than 0 and less than 90, its value is positive, and as such when I try to find A dot B, I am going to get AB cos theta, and this value is going to be a positive value. At the same time, say put this way, or rather say this is going to be a positive value, but less than this AB. Third condition, let me put like this. I have vector A, the other vector is like this B, and the angle between them is 90 degree. In that case, when I try to find, so here for me theta is equal to 90 degree, and when I try to find the dot product of the two, so A dot B is AB cos 90, and we know that this is going to be 0. So thus when both are perpendicular, we can also say that vector A and B are orthogonal. So thus using this property, I can check the orthogonality of two vectors. or say I can check perpendicularity of the two vectors. Perpendicularity of two vectors. Fourth condition, if I say I have a vector A like this, and this time I have my vector B like this, and this is the angle theta between them, such that this time, see, my angle theta is greater than 90 degree and it is less than 180 degree. It is less than 180 degree. This angle lies in the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant cosine angle is going to be negative quantity. As such, I am going to get my dot product A dot B, which will be equal to AB cos theta. This dot product is going to be negative for me if I compare with this. Next condition, if I look at, let me put this way, this is my vector A and this is my vector B, and this time I say theta, the angle between the two vectors, it is going to be 180 degree. So this is 180 degree, and cos of 180 is minus 1. As such, I say A dot B is equal to AB cos 180, which is going to be minus 1. So I am going to get minus AB, and this value of dot product is going to be minimum for me. Thus, for a student to have a control on the dot product, he should have the basic idea about, say, the properties or conditions, whatever it might be, we should have this idea. So thus, by looking at this chart or say the conditions, one thing I understand, the maximum value of the dot product is going to be AB and the minimum value of dot product is going to be minus AB. Between these two values, I can have any value in the dot product of AB. Next, keep in mind that if two vectors are given and you are asked to find whether the two vectors are perpendicular or not, or whether the two vectors are orthogonal or not. Just now we saw that if two vectors are orthogonal, then the angle between them is 90 degree. If it is 90 degree, then I know that A dot B is equal to AB cos 90, which is nothing but 0. What I mean, if I try to find the dot product of two vectors and if I get 0, then I would say that these two vectors are perpendicular. Rather, this condition can be used as a test of orthogonality or perpendicularity of vectors. Perpendicularity of two vectors. Second condition, I want to find the dot product of same vector. Say this time I have vector A. I want to find the dot product of the same vector. So what do I mean dot product of the same vector? I mean that if I have one vector, say this is A, the second vector is also the same vector. So I have the freedom to shift this vector parallelly to any place. So just I placed above. So this is also a vector. So I am trying to find the dot product of the two vectors. In that case, these two vectors are parallel vectors and the angle between them is 0. In that case, I just now studied, when I try to find the dot product of two vectors, then this is nothing but magnitude of one vector into magnitude of the other vector into cosine of angle between them. Angle between them same vector, it is 0. Otherwise, this is equal to a square. So with this, we get the condition when I try to find the dot product of two vector, this is nothing but square of the magnitude of the two vectors. This will be the second condition. Third one, we have to keep in mind, often we will come across that we have the standard unit vectors, say I, j and k. These are the standard unit vectors lying along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis of a right-handed Cartesian coordinate system that we saw in the last class. And if I try to find the dot product of I dot I, say like this. So, I am finding the dot product of the same vector. So, if it is the dot product of the same vector, then angle between them must be 0. And I know magnitude of a unit vector is 1. So, dot product of same vector is nothing but square of its magnitude. So, magnitude of this vector is 1. So, square of 1 is going to be 1 for me. So, very important concept we should keep in mind, often we will come across in solving problems. So, therefore, I dot I is going to be 1. Similarly, j dot j is going to be 1 and k dot k is going to be 1. Dot product of same unit vectors is going to be 1. Next, if I look at, let me say that I want to find what is the dot product between I and j. So, I is a unit vector lying along x-axis, j is a unit vector lying along y-axis. So, let me say that this is x-axis and this is y-axis. So, my unit vector I is lying here and j is lying here, then angle between them is equal to 90 degree. So, when I try to find the dot product, so I dot j, this is going to be magnitude of I is 1 into magnitude of j is 1 and cos of 90, which is going to be 0. Thus, when I try to find the dot product of these two, when I get 0, it means that the angle between I and j are 90 degree, or I can say that I and j are perpendicular to one another. Similarly, we can say that j dot k, this is going to be 0. Similarly, I can say that k dot I is going to be 0. Rather, fourth concept if I see, A dot B is equal to magnitude of A into magnitude of B into cos of angle between A and B, as we see in the figure. Next, if I say, instead of writing A dot B, what will happen if I write B dot A? So, B dot A, if I follow the same rule, then magnitude of B into magnitude of A into cos theta. So, the right hand side is the products of the magnitudes. So, you either multiply A into B into cos theta, or you multiply B into A into cos theta, the right hand side is going to be equal. That means that when you find the dot product, then A dot B is going to be equal to B dot A. If this is the case, then in mathematics we say, see, A takes the position of B and B takes the position of A. So, they commute their positions. So, when they commute, we say that dot product obey or obeys commutative law. Okay, let us verify the commutative law taking a problem like this. Let me say that I have a vector A which is given as A x of I plus A y of j plus A z of k. And let me say that I have another vector B which is equal to B x of I plus B y of j plus B z of k. And I want to find the dot product of the two. So, this time let me say that A dot B when I take, so this is going to be A x of I plus A y of j plus Az of k times dot b I have bx of I cap plus by of j plus bz of k. Now when I try to find the dot product, I will keep in mind that just now I studied I dot I is going to be 1 for me, and if I have two different unit vectors, this is going to be 0. I dot j, I dot k. So dissimilar unit vectors, for standard unit vectors it is going to be 0. Keeping this property in mind, I am going to check out. First I am going to take the first term here, I am going to multiply with this one. So I am going to have ax bx I dot I, which is going to be 1 for me. So I am going to leave plus. See, second I am going to take this one and this. This is ax by I dot j. So I dot j is going to be 0 for me. So this term is going to be 0 for me. Third, if I take this one, hopefully you are grasping it, ax bz I dot k. I dot k is going to be 0 once again. So therefore 0 plus. Next I am going to take the second term. Second term I am going to multiply with this one. I see that j dot I, both are dissimilar. So this is going to give me 0. Then this, if I take j dot j is going to be 1 for me. So this term survives. So this is ay by. Similarly, the third term I am going to get this as 0. Next I am going to take this one. This is multiplied with this. So I have plus k dot I, it is going to be 0 once again. Then if I take the second term with this, k dot j is going to be 0, and I am taking the third term, k dot k is 1. So I will be left with az bz. Or if I further see this expression, I am going to have ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. So this is what I get from a dot b. I want to check whether a dot b is equal to b dot a. So next I will be checking for b dot a. In that case, I shall start from this side. So let's have this way b dot a. For a dot b, I wrote a vector first, then b vector. For this case, I am going to write bx of I plus by of j plus bz of k. This is vector b for me. And this is ax of I plus ay of j plus a sub z of k. Now, hopefully I need not go in detail like this here. Simply I know that I dot I is going to fetch me the product, I dot j is going to be 0. In that case, see b dot a, when I have, so this I dot I is going to be 1. So I am going to have bxax. Then if I multiply j and k with I, it is going to be 0 plus. Next I am going to take this term, j dot I is going to be 0, j dot j is going to be 1. So therefore by and ay plus k dot I is 0, k dot j is 0, k dot k is 1. So I am left with bz az. So this is my expression 1. Let me say this is expression 2. Now when I compare the RHS of a dot b and RHS of b dot a, these are same because these are just magnitudes. So RHS of 1 and 2 are same, therefore the LHS of 1 and 2 must be same. In that case, we say that the dot product obeys commutative law. This is the case. This is how we said it obeys commutative law. Next, dot product is, or say instead of saying is, obeys distributive law. It obeys distributive law. What do we mean by this? It means that if I have dot product A dot, let me say I have vector B plus C. By looking at this expression, what we say, vector B and C are to be added first, then I will find the result of the sum dot product with A. This is what we mean. So instead of doing so, even if we find the dot product between A and B, plus if I find the dot product between A and C, then so you will find that these two will be equal, and that's what we say, A is distributed between B and C. A is distributed with or to B and to C. A is given to B, A is given to C, and thus it obeys distributive law. How to verify? You have to verify. I am going to tell you the idea. So if I take vector A as we considered in the last case to show the commutative law, here Ay of j plus Az of k I have. Similarly, I have vector B, which is going to be Bx of I plus By of j plus Bz of k. And I have one more vector, say C. I am going to consider this as Cx of I cap plus Cy of j cap plus Cz of k cap. Now we have to verify. I will tell you the way you need to verify. First, what we need to do is we have to find the sum of the two vectors. So this is B plus C. So B plus C is going to be, I have to find the sum of these two vectors. So I am going to find the sum of the coefficients of I cap, sum of the coefficients of j cap, and similarly sum of the coefficients of k cap. And this is going to be for me Bx plus Cx of I cap plus By plus Cy of j cap plus Bz plus Cz of k cap. Now I will find the dot product of this sum with A. So I have A dot B plus C, which is going to be Ax of I cap plus Ay of j cap plus Az of k cap dot let me take this expression, which is going to be Bx plus Cx of I cap plus By plus Cy of j cap plus Bz plus Cz of k cap. Now when I try to find the dot product, now we saw simply I am going to have I dot I as 1. So only I will have this product and rest of the things will be 0. Similarly, I will follow the rule. So I am going to have Ax Bx plus Cx, I dot I is going to be 1 plus I will have Ay By plus Cy plus I will have Az into Bz plus Cz. So this is the expression that I got when I tried to find A dot B plus C. Now what you need to do is, you will have to take A and B separately. You find A dot B. Then you find the dot product between A and C. Then you find the sum of the products of the two and verify the answer whether you are getting this one or not. And you must get. If you get this one, that's how you prove that the dot product obeys the distributive law. Next, we can find the using the dot product, we can find the angle between two vectors. We can find angle between two vectors. How? Let me say I have one vector A, the other vector is B. I know that when I find the dot product, it is nothing but AB cos theta. And I want to find what is theta. So for me, I have A cos theta is equal to A dot B upon AB. I want to find what is theta. So theta is going to be cos inverse of A dot B upon AB. So using this expression, we can find what is the angle between two vectors. Next, we can also use this dot product to find the component of one vector along the other vector. Okay? This can be used to find the component of one vector along another vector. What do I mean? Let me say this is vector B, let me say this is vector A, and the angle between them is theta. I want to find the component of A along B. So the component of A along B is going to be A parallel 1, or rather we say that this is nothing but A cos theta. So when I say A cos theta along B, so shall I write A cos theta is the magnitude, and along B I said I am going to multiply the unit vector of B. This is going to give me the direction along B. So this is the component of A acting along B. Rather, now A cos theta can be written as, see, A cos theta can be written as A dot B upon B. So this can be written as A dot B upon magnitude B into unit vector B. And in the previous classes we have studied unit vector of a vector can be written as vector by its magnitude. What I say is unit vector can be written as the vector by its magnitude. I am going to replace this one. So I have A dot B upon B into vector B upon B. If I see this one, see please, this is dot product. So this is a scalar quantity and denominator. So this entire thing is a scalar. It's a simple number which you multiply with a vector. So I am going to have A dot B. This is a simple number divided by B square into the vector. So this is going to be the expression for the component of A along B. When I want to find the component of A along B, this is the way. If I want to find the component of B along A, in that case I am going to have B cos theta A unit vector, which can be once again dot product upon A square vector A. So these formula can be used to calculate the component of one vector along the component of the other. So dear students, let us stop here. We shall see in the next class, we shall try to solve some problems based on dot product. Thank you very much.